welcome back. Now it is time for a pop quiz, everyone. Now, which video game designer describes me on his website as the ever-wacky Jeff Keighley? Well, it's the same guy who calls himself a game designer / attention whore on his own website. Cliffy B, welcome to the show.
Jeff? He's ever-wacky.
Good to see you.
Hey, guys.
Now, Cliff, everyone knows, is the lead designer from Epic Games, working on Gears of War for the Xbox 360.
Yeah, I want to give you a reason to buy the console.
There you go.
Well, we're looking for those reasons.
Absolutely.
You know, but we were just talking about, you were here watching our whole, summer drought conversation, but you brought up an interesting point that you said all games, even now, brand new, should be $20.
So Gears of War will be...
Well,
Talk to Microsoft about that.
There's
right?
more people involved in this decision, but if it were up to me, games would be $20. The thing is $50 is still a lot of money for most people,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
And you get these people who are like, okay, games are costing more to make, yeah, but we need to sell more copies. We need to make them more accessible.
Sure.
Raising the prices, it's only going to shoot us in the foot. We need to get the price down to a $20 price point, just like DVD movies.
But the problem I think Microsoft would say is that, with something like 360, it's going to be so expensive on the front end that they're the hardcore people, so they're willing to pay $70 for a game because you're not going to a super mainstream audience.
They are to a point, but I mean, at some point, $20, yuppie food stamps, right? You go to an ATM, there's a psychological barrier there with $20.
Right.
You're at Walmart and you see something that's $20, you'll throw it in the cart. You won't
Lap
get
dance
the
for $20.
Yeah, exactly.
The problem is that you got to buy, a $400 console to play these things on.
Yeah, well, and if the console's $400, that's another problem because
Jeff,
that $299
he's on
is
our
still
side.
Yeah, why are you playing
Make it
devil's advocate?
$150, damn
He's
it.
But I think that's why
belligerent, Joe.
The publishers will push back because they're going to say, we should charge $70 because everyone who's going to buy Gears of War, they want your game so much, they'd pay $70 for that game.
Yeah, but if you don't have $70, you can't make it come from nowhere.
But if you don't have $70, you're not going to have a 360.
Why don't we
No,
sell it
but
for $100? Then we'll make that much more money.
2,000 years later.
Boy, oh boy, that game industry really wants GTA 6 costing $100.
What the hell is this? A few moments later.
I want to start with the most infuriating. Some Nintendo Switch 2 games will be more expensive. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, this probably means they're just going to be $70. Like, all of them across the board are going to be $70, which is more expensive. You're wrong. They're actually, in some cases, going to be $80. And not only are the digital downloads of these games going up to $80 in some cases, from what I'm reading, some of the physical copies of these games will be going to $90. I've said for so long how mean of a company Nintendo is, and how they do not respect you. This company wouldn't piss in your mouth if you were dying of thirst unless you paid them $60 up front for the convenience fee. So this is the perfect demonstration that Nintendo will just do anything for a couple extra doubloons. So they are now at the $80 price tag for some of their games, which will no doubt have a pretty big effect on the rest of the gaming sector as a whole. And that is bleak.
Meanwhile, later.
That's what it would look like if I was reading this news for the first time about the Microsoft price increases. But I read it earlier and I already got all my frustration out of the way privately, screaming into a pillow. This isn't some make-believe fish paste, a little video game industry boogeyman here with some false reports. This is confirmed that Microsoft will be increasing all of their prices across the board on hardware as well as accessories. And most notably, they are increasing the price on their Xbox first-party games to $80, following in line with what Nintendo's doing with some of their games.
You know what? You're a fucking joke. I mean, you are a ridiculous, immature, half-wit moron. I have never met a sadder, more attention-starved, jabbering little prick in my entire life, and that says a lot, because I've been alive for more than 200 fucking years. I'll tell you, motherfucker, I wish I could say you die alone, but it's one of God's best jokes that you can't die, except it's on all of us!